The billionaire came home and saw his gateman doing this to his only son, and what he did shocked everyone else. The iron gates of the Williams estate creaked open with a heavy groan, then locked shut behind the slim figure of the new gatekeeper. He was tall and lean, with sharp cheekbones, tired eyes, and sun-darkened skin that suggested a life hardened by labor. His name was Musa, and he didn't smile much. He barely nodded as the estate manager handed him the keys to the gatehouse. "That's your quarters there," the manager said, gesturing to the compact room just beside the entrance. "Electricity runs at night. Keep your uniform clean. Mr. Williams likes discipline. No visitors, no excuses." Musa didn't ask questions. He picked up his sack, dropped it on the cot inside, and returned to stand by the gate as if he'd done it all his life. Behind him stretched one of the most expensive mansions in the entire Lekki Peninsula. Marble walls, manicured lawns, security cameras in every corner, and a driveway that could host a fashion show. Musa eyed it once, then faced the street again, unreadable. Inside the house, 6-year-old Nathan Williams ran barefoot across the marble tiles, a toy dinosaur in one hand and a mango slice in the other. He was laughing as he chased after the family's golden retriever Astro, who had stolen his teddy bear again. "Nathan, shoes!" shouted the nanny from the kitchen, "and don't run with food!" Nathan giggled, ignored her, and darted into the sunroom. The dog barked joyfully. Upstairs, Mr. Williams adjusted his cufflinks in front of the mirror. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and immaculately dressed in a navy blue tailored suit. His phone buzzed. Another call from Johannesburg, another missed call from Zurich, but his eyes remained on the mirror for a moment longer than usual. There was a tiredness behind his charm today. He grabbed his briefcase and headed downstairs. Nathan spotted him and immediately changed direction, crashing into his father's legs with a laugh. "Daddy!" Mr. Williams dropped to one knee and ruffled the boy's hair. "You didn't wear your sleepers again." Nathan shrugged, mouth full of mango. "They make my feet hot." Miriam cleared her throat behind them. "Sir, his temperature is fine, but I think he's been having trouble sleeping." "I'll have Dr. Isong come check him next week," Mr. Williams said quickly, standing back up. "I have to catch a flight." "But Daddy, I wanted to show you my new Lego car." "Next time, champ." He kissed Nathan's forehead. "Be good, okay?" And with that, he was out the door, the BMW already waiting. Nathan stood there, the dinosaur still in one hand, staring at the massive doors after they shut. That evening, just before sunset, Nathan wandered out of the main house again, holding a small plate of cookies. Miriam was in the laundry room, and the chef was watching a cooking show in the back kitchen. Astro followed him until the edge of the porch, then lay down and yawned. Nathan tiptoed across the tiled path that led to the gate. He'd never really spoken to the new gatekeeper. The old one, Uncle Raji, had always taken his cookies and told him silly stories about tortoises and magical goats. But Uncle Raji had left 2 weeks ago. Musa was leaning against the gate, whittling a stick with a small pocket knife. He looked up when he saw the boy. "I brought cookies." Musa stared in silence for a beat too long. Then he took the plate and looked at the small, eager face in front of him. "You rich people always eat sweet things," he muttered. Nathan blinked. "Do you like chocolate chip?" "You probably don't even know how to open that big gate." Nathan looked at the gate, confused. "Why would I?" "Exactly," Musa said. "You nepo babies, everything handed to you." Nathan furrowed his brow. "What's a nepo baby?"
Musa took a slow bite of the cookie. "Someone who doesn't deserve what they have." Nathan stood there for a moment, unsure of whether to smile or leave. Then, quietly, he turned and walked back toward the house. Musa didn't watch him go. That night, Nathan didn't ask for his bedtime story. He asked Miriam what Napo meant. She blinked. "Where did you hear that word?" "Nowhere," he said quickly. "Just something from TV." She nodded and tucked him in, but his eyes remained open long after the lights went off. Back at the gatehouse, Musa sat alone in the dark, the empty cookie plate beside him. He stared at the glowing mansion through the bars of the gate, his jaw tight, his eyes cold. The next morning, the Williams mansion bustled with quiet luxury. The gardener trimmed the hedges, while soft jazz hummed from the kitchen speakers. Miriam was folding Nathan's freshly ironed pajamas in the laundry room, humming absently. But in the front yard, behind the hedge that lined the walkway to the gate, Nathan crouched low. His toy dinosaur lay forgotten in the grass as he traced shapes in the dirt with a small stick. His shoulders were slumped. His usually bouncy curls had flattened against his forehead. He looked up every few seconds, eyes darting toward the gatehouse like a squirrel anticipating danger. From the distance, Musa watched. "Nathan," the voice was low and sharp. "Come here." Nathan flinched. His eyes lingered toward the house. He wanted to run back in, but something about the way Musa stared at him made him freeze. "I said, come here." Nathan stood slowly, brushing dirt off his shorts, and made his way to the gate. He looked up at the tall man looming over him. Musa's uniform was cleaner today, but his expression was the same, cold, unreadable. "Where is your iPad?" Musa asked. "In my room," Nathan replied, voice barely a whisper. "Of course, probably has 5 of them, one for breakfast, one for lunch, spoiled." "I don't have 5, Nathan said, uncertain if he was supposed to respond at all. Musa bent down slightly. His face came close, too close. "You think you're better than everyone? That your father's money makes you special?" Nathan's eyes widened. "No, I never said that." Musa smirked, then suddenly yanked the boy's collar. Nathan gasped. "You walk around here like you own the air we breathe. You're just lucky, lucky to be born in that house." Nathan struggled to step back, but Musa's grip held. "Tomorrow morning," Musa said, his voice flat, "you'll come and sweep this driveway. Don't tell anyone, just come. Understand?" Nathan nodded quickly, more out of fear than comprehension. Musa released his shirt. The boy stumbled back and ran toward the main house without looking back. Inside, Miriam was unpacking groceries when she noticed him. "Nathan, your shirt is rumpled. Come, let me fix it." He hesitated, then took a slow step forward. As she bent to adjust his collar, she paused. "Nathan, what happened to your arm?" He froze. She rolled up the sleeve gently. A light red mark sat on his upper arm, faint but visible. She frowned. "Did you fall, or did someone pull you?" Nathan looked away. "It's nothing. I was playing with Astro." Astro, the golden retriever, barked from outside. He didn't sound playful. "You're sure?" she pressed. Nathan nodded, then rushed off before she could ask again. Later that evening, Chef Bayo was washing vegetables by the kitchen window. His eyes drifted toward the front gate. Something caught his attention. Musa stood near the edge of the compound, holding a small dustpan, watching Nathan quietly sweep the ground in front of him. Nathan's hand trembled as he pushed the dust around. It was clear he had never done any real cleaning before. Musa folded his arms, his stance rigid, like a soldier overseeing a prisoner. Chef Bayo squinted, his brows furrowed. But instead of intervening, he shut the window and turned away.
That night, Nathan didn't come downstairs for dessert. The nanny found him curled up in bed earlier than usual, his toy dinosaur under his chin. He didn't complain, didn't ask for his nightlight, and didn't request the bedtime story. Just silence. Mariam switched off the light, then stood outside his room with her arms crossed.
Something wasn't right. Meanwhile, Mr. Williams was seated in a private lounge at Murtala Muhammad Airport, fingers flying across his laptop. Two phones sat by his side, buzzing with back-to-back messages. He hadn't seen the missed video call from Nathan earlier that afternoon. Back at the mansion, Astro stood at the bottom of the staircase, looking up, ears perked. He hadn't seen Nathan smile all day. The next morning, Mariam's suspicions deepened when she noticed Nathan flinch as she adjusted his school shirt. His arm bore another faint mark, like fingers had gripped him hard. But before she could ask, Musa's voice called from outside. "Nanny, they've brought the newspaper." Nathan's head snapped up. His eyes shifted toward the gate, then quickly back down. Something cold settled in Mariam's chest. She leaned forward and gently kissed his forehead. "Do you want me to walk you to the study room today?" He nodded quickly. And as they walked, neither of them noticed that Musa was watching from behind the hibiscus bushes. The cookies from 2 days ago still sat untouched on his bedside table, hard and stale. But his resentment? That was still fresh. Chef Bayo stirred the ogbono soup with less enthusiasm than usual. The kitchen smelled right, the spices were balanced, but something didn't sit well in his spirit. Through the tinted kitchen window, he'd seen too many things in the past week that made his stomach churn. He hadn't told anyone. Not Mariam, not even the head cleaner, not even in passing. He looked again. Nathan was at the far end of the compound near the flower bed, holding a rake almost as big as he was. Musa stood over him, arms crossed. Every few minutes, Nathan bent to gather dry leaves into a pile, while Musa pointed and muttered something under his breath. The cook turned back to his soup. He added one more pinch of crayfish and tried to silence his thoughts. Inside the mansion, Nathan's world had grown smaller. He no longer played in the sunroom. His Legos remained untouched on the playroom table. He spoke less and smiled rarely. Mariam noticed. She had even called Mr. Williams 2 nights ago, trying to bring it up, but he'd answered while in a noisy airport in Madrid and said, "I'll be back soon, just keep him safe." That soon became 5 more days. On a rainy Wednesday morning, Nathan sat on the tiled steps outside the kitchen. He wasn't allowed to go near the front gate that day, and Mariam had given strict orders. Still, he sat and watched the clouds. A storm was building, dark and slow. His dinosaur was in his lap. Then he heard footsteps. "I told you to rake the flower bed this morning," Musa's voice growled from around the corner. "You think I won't notice?" Nathan's heart jumped. "But Mariam said I should stay here. I wasn't allowed." Musa's hand clamped around his wrist. "So Mariam is your boss now? Is that how things work in your father's palace?" Nathan winced in pain. "You're hurting me." "Good," Musa spat. "Let me hurt you the way life will when your father's money runs dry." He dragged Nathan toward the garden. It had started to drizzle. Leaves trembled. Musa shoved the boy forward, and Nathan landed on the wet grass, his hands scraping the muddy ground. Back at the mansion, "Pick up the rake." Nathan was crying now, chest heaving. "Pick it up." And he did, hands shaking, tears mixing with the rain. Musa stood like a statue, watching him struggle. What neither of them noticed was the black SUV pulling quietly into the compound from the side entrance. Mr. Williams had returned. He was supposed to arrive the next morning, but a last-minute cancellation in London had put him on an earlier flight. Tired but eager, he hadn't told anyone. He wanted to surprise Nathan. He stepped out of the vehicle, briefcase in hand, and was met with the sound of crying. He paused, listened, then followed the noise around the hedge near the back garden. That's when he saw it. His only son, soaked from head to toe, on his knees, raking mud. Musa stood behind him, shouting at the boy like a madman. "You little pest, do it properly, sweep like your life depends on it." Mr. Williams didn't move. At first, he thought he was hallucinating. But the moment Nathan looked up, eyes red and desperate, and met his father's gaze, it was real. "Daddy!" Nathan's scream sliced through the air. Musa turned. His expression shifted from authority to horror in a fraction of a second. Mr. Williams didn't shout. He walked forward, slow and silent. He took off his jacket and placed it around Nathan's shoulders. Then he turned to Musa. "I want you to explain to me," he said with a voice like ice, "why my son is raking the ground in the rain." Musa opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Then he stammered, "Sir, he was playing here. I just asked him to help." "Help with what? Military drills?" "I didn't hurt him. He's exaggerating." Mr. Williams looked down at Nathan. "Did he touch you?" Nathan nodded. "He pulled me and called me names. He always does it." "Always?" Mr. Williams asked. Nathan nodded again, more firmly. The silence that followed was suffocating. "Get out," Mr. Williams said without raising his voice. "Take your things and leave. You're done." Musa stood frozen. "Sir, please, it wasn't what it looked like." "Should I call the police?" Mr. Williams interrupted, finally looking him directly in the eye. "Or will you walk away on your own?" Musa didn't respond. He backed away slowly, hands in the air, then turned and rushed toward the gatehouse. Mariam ran outside just in time to see Nathan wrapped in his father's jacket, clinging to his waist. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Mr. Williams didn't say anything to her. He scooped Nathan into his arms and began walking toward the mansion. The rain kept falling. Behind them, the gate slammed shut. And for the first time in days, Nathan exhaled. The rain had stopped by the time Mr. Williams reached the second-floor landing with Nathan in his arms. His shoes left muddy prints on the polished marble, but no one dared say a word. Mariam trailed behind quietly, her hands clasped tightly in front of her. Mr. Williams entered Nathan's room and laid him gently on the bed. He helped the boy out of his soaked clothes, drying him off with a soft towel. Nathan looked up at his father with a face that had already seen too much for a 6-year-old. "You're safe now," Mr. Williams said, brushing the boy's damp curls out of his face. "No one will hurt you again, I promise." Nathan gave a slow nod and clutched his dinosaur toy, drawing it close to his chest like a shield. "Daddy," he whispered, "he used to lock me in the small room behind the gatehouse. He said if I told anyone, he would say I was lying." Mr. Williams's eyes darkened. He sat beside his son, fists clenched, jaw tight. "And did anyone else see this happen?" Nathan hesitated. "The cook. One day, he saw, but he walked away." Mr. Williams stood. His silence filled the room. He turned to Mariam. "Stay with him," he said. She nodded quickly, eyes wide. Without another word, he left the room, walked down the stairs like a man possessed, and stepped back out into the compound. The air was thick with the smell of wet earth. The guards had gathered quietly in the corner, whispering among themselves. They parted immediately when they saw him coming. Musa was near the gatehouse, stuffing his clothes into a torn nylon bag, moving quickly. He didn't hear Mr. Williams approach. "Musa!" The gatekeeper froze. He turned slowly, already trembling. "Sir, I was just—" Mr. Williams didn't wait. His fist landed across Musa's face with a force that sent him stumbling back into the wall. Musa tried to speak, but another blow landed, this time to his stomach. He crumpled forward, groaning. Mr. Williams grabbed the man by the shirt, slamming him against the wall beside the gatehouse. "You put your hands on my son?" His voice was low and furious. "You threatened him? You humiliated a child because you hate your own life?" "Sir, I wasn't thinking," Musa gasped, trying to cover his head. Mr. Williams didn't hit him again. He stepped back, panting. "My son started talking less, smiling less. I thought it was stress, or maybe loneliness. But it was you, all this time." Musa slid down the wall, defeated. His lip was bleeding, and one eye had already begun to swell. "You will take your things and get out of this place," Mr. Williams said. "You will not receive a single naira. Not for your days here, not for your bruises, nothing. Please, Musa croaked, just let me explain. There's nothing left to explain, Mr. Williams replied. If I involved the police, I'd be doing this country a favor. But I want you to feel this shame. I want you to live with it. Go, before I change my mind. Musa looked around, as if expecting someone to defend him. No one moved. The guards looked away. The cook had emerged from the kitchen and now stood beside the main building, head bowed in guilt. Even Mariam was on the balcony, arms folded, eyes full of silent rage. Mr. Williams turned and began walking back toward the house. Musa gathered the rest of his things and limped toward the main gate, the same gate he once stood by with authority. He looked back once. No one waved, no one spoke. He opened the gate and stepped out, the heavy metal slamming shut behind him. Inside the mansion, Mr. Williams returned to Nathan's room. The boy was asleep, curled on his side, the dinosaur toy cradled in his arms. Mariam stood beside the bed, her face softer now. "He finally stopped crying," she whispered. Mr. Williams nodded and sat at the foot of the bed. He reached out, gently stroking Nathan's small hand. "I should have been here," he said quietly. "I should have protected him better." Mariam didn't reply. Some truths needed no response. Outside, the sun began to pierce through the clouds. The puddles in the compound shimmered under the golden light. Astro barked from a distance, chasing butterflies like nothing had ever happened. But inside the Williams home, something had shifted. Justice had been served, not with police sirens or legal forms, but with the raw rage of a father who had been too far for too long. And now, he was closer than ever.